Buenas tardes, amigos y amigas. Mi llamo es Juesto Enrico y bienvenidos a Hablando con Personas Famosas. I wanted to make this video about a better way possibly of trying to administer some kind of standardized test. In other words, something that doesn't require personal interaction that might be more useful in determining a given type, a person's type, So let's look at this. This is the thing I want to show you. Order the achievement areas by ease of attainment. 1 means you find it most easy to attain good results in an achievement area. 8 means you find it least easy to attain good results in the achievement area. So the reason an ordinal approach is preferable is because you have to give one of these 8 things 1, and you have to give one 8, and you have to give one 2, and one 3, and one 4. So it's like you can't say like, very much disagree, very much agree. I'm creative, very much agree, and I'm very logical, very much agree, and I'm very emotionally intelligent, very much agree. Well, by putting them against each other like this, you have to order them, you get a much better result. So I'm going to explain the test basically as I go through these. It's like 4 pages of these. Each of these are ordered in ENTP order. So this is NE, TI, FE, SI, NI, NI, TE, FI, SE. Obviously, you don't necessarily want to indicate that on the test, but people will be able to tell, probably, if they know enough about functions. But it shouldn't really matter that much, because the point of this is, if you're an ENTP, you're not going to put down here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to probably put this one 1. Maybe this one 2. Maybe this one 3. Possibly, this one 4, 5, 6. You know, 7, 8. I put the 4th slot 8. The thing is, to get this test to be meaningful, we need results to tell us what number patterns are suggestive of. So, like, if we get a bunch of ENFPs, they're going to have not all the same results, but like most of them will have mya in either as 1, 2, or 3, something like that. Which values do you hold most when values conflict? So, if you had a choice to be either original or have the best argument, which would you choose? You're going to say, obviously, well, it depends on the context. But if you had to make a general rule to be more correct or more original, which would you prefer? If you had to pick more original or more positively regarded by others, which would you pick? If you had to pick, more argumentationally right or more successful in anticipating what's going to happen, etc. So you have to rank these 1 through 8, and then which instance of evil offends you most? 1 equals most offended, 8 equals least offended. Try to evaluate not on the impacts but on the means by which they are attained. So you might say, well, in this first example, the whole city has no public transportation. That affects the most people. Don't calculate your offense response based on that, but instead the reason why the bad thing happened. Which reason why the bad thing happened is most offensive to you. So, example 1. A good and popular public transport system is torn out to make way for an untested new idea which turns out not to work, leaving the city with no public transport. A lawyer uses technicalities in the law to get an acquittal for his client who killed 2 in a drunk driving crash. A leggy blonde at a party makes several cutting jokes regarding the social awkwardness of another party attendee, embarrassing both the attendee and the hostess. A politician garners popular support for very wasteful and ineffective legislation by hammering some facts that are definitely true, but also by ignoring other facts that would reveal the badness of the idea. In order to complete a highway project a month ahead of schedule, a construction firm has cut a service road through the mating grounds of the endangered and very sensitive southwestern tumbleweed grouse. The new highway bypass opened a month sooner than promised. Some grouse were run over while the service road was in operation, but no more than 300 or 400 documented grouse dead could be definitively established. At a party, you witness a parent forcing a child to participate in a series of social niceties, including approaching and greeting other attendees, making brief small talk, and then excusing himself to move on to the next person. The child is shy and upset, pressing through, but on the verge of tears and asking to be allowed to stop. The parent is firm in requiring the child to complete the social gauntlet and brusque, but does not speak to the child in an overtly unkind way. And then lastly, you attend a meeting for your company where a colleague suggests the company make a business move that should be very profitable. You firmly believe that if the company authorizes a go-ahead on this, then you and your colleagues will see big end-of-year bonuses. The boss holds several more meetings before he's finally convinced. When he goes to do the deal, he discovers that he dithered too long and the window of opportunity is closed. No bonuses for anyone this year. Now, so in other words, which way of being wrong is most offensive? Is it using legitimacy for evil ends? That would be TI. You find it offensive. Or like prioritizing novelty and originality over something that matters to people, so that you break something instead of making shit better, you just break the thing that wasn't broken in the first place. That would be finding NE very offensive. If you care a lot about other people's social comfort, then you'll find the third one very offensive. If you care a lot about how the truth is used or abused, you care a lot about the fourth. If you care a lot about prioritizing legitimacy over efficiency, then you'll be offended by the fifth one here, or the sixth one, or whatever it is. I guess that's the sixth one. Oh, I skipped one. I left one off. I didn't have an SI one. It would be something like, winter has arrived and we've squandered all these resources on stupid shit, and that's bad. People start starving when it could easily have been prevented if we had just taken better care of our resources. I'll add something like that to this. And I think this is the last one. Yeah. And which of the following competency areas would you most graciously accept assistance from a significant other? Talking your way out of consequences or trouble. Determining the logical defensibility of a given position, which is a different thing entirely. Determining how a prospective action is likely to play amongst a social group. Keeping track of creations, resources, and schedules. Knowing which of several paths is objectively best, most likely to produce sought outcomes. Determining a better approach that attains the same results with less effort and fewer mistakes. Determining how to reconcile conflicting emotions, recognizing personal significance, having your cake and eating it too. In other words, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I want you to stop saying this thing that's annoying me. Finding some sort of like emotional like trump card will allow you to have your cake and eat it too. You'll still be able to like that person and be really kind to them and let them know about this somehow. That's the thing about FI. It wants what it wants. It doesn't care if there's contradictions. Lastly, pulling the trigger on hard decisions, doing the legwork, following through on a decided plan. So, obviously, socionics tells us that the fourth slot function is the one you're going to seek the most help from, and you're going to accept help most graciously in. Third function, you're going to be like, I can do it myself, Mom. The second function, you're going to be like, we're either collegial about it, or you're worse than me. In which case, I'm rolling my eyes at you trying to help me. And the similar approach with the dominant function. We may be collegial with somebody about it, or they're worse than us at it. The fifth function, determining the same, like in this one, knowing which of several paths is objectively best, most likely to produce sought outcomes. You're likely to feel like you could comfortably accept help in this area, even though it's a strength of yours. It's ignoring. And so it's like when you're offered assistance in NI, for me, NI, but for you, whatever your fifth function is, you think, oh, right, that thing, yeah, you should, yeah, please help me with that. I forgot that that's something that we have to consider too. And yeah, you don't feel like incompetent at it, you just feel like, well, that's not the important part of the stuff. If you want to do that, go for it. Determining a better approach that obtains the same result. I already read all these things. The sixth one is going to be you don't want to accept help in it, really, although you're okay with accepting some help. You just rather not be in this situation where that function is so significant enough that you have to employ it and potentially seek and receive help in it in the first place. You just rather be not dealing with that. The seventh one, you will probably feel quite comfortable about accepting help in it. Not because you're so bad at it, quote unquote, but because you're so confused about it. If somebody says, well, Eric, when Kimberly tells me that I only have one emotion, I just push it around and my FI is retarded and stuff like that, I just go, okay, that's cool. Might as well be really upset that my uterus doesn't make ovums. Well, I'm a dude and I don't want to have any babies come out of my body. I want to maybe make a baby, have come out of somebody else's body, but I don't need my uterus to work like that at all. I don't want it to work like that at all. That's what I think about FI. I just go like, yeah, you can help me with it, but it's not important for anything. It's like, you could help me find the best piece of bread in this loaf, but it's not going to make the sandwich any different. It's just bread. So in that regard, you probably accept it graciously, but you probably wouldn't seek it at all. Pulling trigger on hard decisions. Eighth slot function, you're going to be very balanced in. So it's not going to, you'll work together with the other person in the eighth slot function probably, when appropriate. Do it yourself when appropriate, and not worry about it the rest of the time. So, you may or may not feel happy about always accepting help here, but and you might say, well, these are two different things: pulling the trigger on hard decisions and doing the legwork, following through on the decided plan. But the thing is, they're both aspects of SE. Okay, so that's it for this video. I will share this one. I'll put an eighth one here. I knew there was a missing spot there. This will be SI, so it'll be like someone has left a bunch of needed tools, supplies, and other resources out in the rain. This has this loss of valuable inventory means operations grind to a halt until they can be replaced, and some sort of improvisational solution is required in the interim. That'd be like offensively disregarding SI, you know. This is basically saying you're being evil by not attending to SI enough. You could also have an SI evil that's by attending to it too much. Like, one member of your team insists on taking breaks every 15 minutes because their feet get sore and stuff. That would be annoying, but not necessarily considered evil in the way that, you know, negligently failed to do their job right, has left a bunch of needed tool supplies and other resources on the right. Alright, so anyway, that's it for this video. I would love it if people would take this test and then write in the comments, I believe myself to be this type, and here are my 4 8-digit numbers. So for example, you're going to order these 1 through 8, right? So your first 8-digit number would be like 2134678 right? That'd be an 8-digit number that would represent the first of these worksheets. Each of these has an 8-digit number as the solution to it. So if you put down your type in the 8-digit numbers, the 4 8-digit numbers, then I can begin to try to come up with a answer key of sorts that says, if the answers look like this, it's probably this type. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and hopefully you think this is worth taking and not too time consuming.